All right. All right, we back at it. Back at it. All right, back home. I'm back home. All right, let me get myself together here. Man, I've got to get a car wash today. Oh boy. All right. Let me see, where is everything? Hello everyone. Welcome to the official team. Okay, well, audio is working. Okay, well. Yep. All right, cool. All right, let me get this link out there real quick. Oh, I'm just seeing the replies in the group. I apologize. I ain't reply to those. Appreciate it, Corey. Yeah, that right. The ride was kind of rough. I think that it's so crazy how everything is mental. Like everything is mental. That shit is bugged out to me. But it really is. Matthew, what up? What's good, Tyler? Yeah, back in the office, man. Itchy, what's happening? Yeah, I was thinking just now about that drive back to New York, man. And how when you know, it's like a mental switch. I think that anything that you do where you make that switch in your mind, you can do whatever, even if it's something you don't feel like doing. like for real. Well, I would say especially if it's something that you don't feel like doing. You got to do that. You have to do it, and then once you do it, you actually get shit done that you thought you would not have been able to do. It's very powerful shit, man. It really is. Yep, because Lord knows, first of all, I hate driving. That's one. Like now that I'm older, in particular, I can't stand it. But I had to forget all of that because I had to drive. It was like if I didn't drive, we wasn't getting back no time soon. So I just had to do it. So again, when you make that mental switch, you do shit that you didn't think that you could do. It's amazing. And it works, man. You got to psych yourself out. It works in everything that you do. That's further proof. Just the fact that I did that. Like I proved that shit to myself again. It's amazing. Let me get myself together. Okay. All right, got the charts up finally. My first opportunity getting a chance to see the charts since, what's today, Tuesday? Last time I saw charts was Thursday. No, Friday. Friday before the market closed. I had got an opportunity to get on briefly. Oh, excuse me. But I didn't look at the charts at all yesterday because I was traveling. But back to the grill again. All right, see what we can make of this opportunity here. What's happening, Chris? What it do? What's up, Rich? Let's see. All right, gotta set my timer also. All right, cool. So what the market been looking like for the most part of the day? What has been going on? JT was good. Itchy said retarded. That says it all. JT, it was jerky and speedier earlier. Not sure about right now. Yeah, right. Well, this is actually the first binary I'm going to watch now. But overall, right now, it seems like the environment is pretty good. Can't speak for much else. Chris said my chart time starts after 6. I ain't mad at that. So, Chris, you do that because you don't want to look at the charts before that, or because of, time restraints? Like you're at work now? Is that why you don't come on the charts, or you do that voluntarily? Intentionally? All right, let me set this timer too before I forget. Bam. All right, there it is. Okay, the timer should work now. I get off at 5, get distracted with charts during the day. Got you. That makes sense. And see, I appreciate that because you're putting, you're building your time and your schedule on the charts around what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, they get frustrated when they want to be on the charts at the right time. They have a preconceived notion of when that is. You don't know when that is. You don't know if things will happen in the morning, afternoon, evening, night, overnight. You have no idea. So your best bet is to acquire and build your skill set and then apply it whenever you have the opportunity to be on the chart, period. It doesn't matter when it is. David, what's happening? What's up, Holly? Thank you, Holly. Yep, you can tell I'm home as soon as you hear the subway. You hear the loud ass train moving. uh, but yeah, I think that that's the best way to go about doing it, Chris. Is exactly how you're doing it. And it's interesting what you said. You said that you get distracted. So you see, like, that's a conscious effort to not do something that you know is going to disrupt your focus. That's very strong, and that's going to actually allow you to build your skill set even stronger because you've already established that discipline early on. Seabreeze, no, I don't have any weed, sir. Or ma'am. Itchy said, where were you at last week? I was on a little vacation. I really just went to visit family and run around a few other places, but just got away, took some time off. And what's funny is I was thinking about that when I got back home. I'm like, I went to go take time off and I did what I normally do during my time off, which is funny because being off, I'm going to do what I normally do. Is the crazy thing. It's like people, I don't know, it's not hard to explain. I think that you guys probably would understand it more than anyone else. It's like when someone says, oh, Mark, you should get away. I'm like, I get away every day. This is me getting away. You know what I'm saying? Yep, this is me getting away. So it's all good. No, that wasn't my house. That was actually where my in-laws live. Yeah, I hear that. Need to get away from family, need me time. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I do that every day. And I think that that's why overall it's a healthier thing for you. You know, it's just like when people see me in the car, like people used to always be bugging out like, yo, why are you always in the car? Every time I see you in the car, I'm like, you have no idea. When I'm in the car, that's when I work. I can't work in the house. Like, I can't work in the house around my kids. I can't work in the house if my wife is right there in my ear. I can't do that. So for me to focus, I just leave. I go right in the car. You know, a lot of times go by a park and just hear the birds, you know, that type of shit. You got to just do little things that are going to help you to focus, because the more that you're able to focus, the more efficient you'll be when it comes to trading. The more efficient you'll become when it comes to training also. You know, it's because the training will manufacture your trading. And the way that you design training for yourself is going to guide you into the way that you'll be able to execute when it comes time to make money in the market. You know, so all of that definitely works. Getting away, you know, establishing whatever it is. For you, it might be somewhere in your house. If you got like a basement, somewhere that you can get away, lock the door. You got to do it. Get your focus on. You got to lock on the bathroom, lock yourself in the bathroom. You know, but you'll be surprised when you just give yourself that time to focus. You still do what you normally do. Like, I don't spend any less time with my family or with the kids and stuff. I actually spend more time with them as a result of the way that I have everything structured. Because they know when I'm away doing my, market shit, or I'm studying, or I'm training, or doing live stream or whatever. They know that that's what I'm doing. So they're like, leave him alone. Let him go about his business. And then when I'm done, then I go right back into what I normally do with the family. So it's just a matter of prioritizing your time and figuring it. You got to figure it out, first of all. Figure out how to maneuver yourself and to position yourself overall. And then it works. It definitely works. But I know for some people like to get away and do whatever they do, get a beer, do all of that type of stuff. They're like, this is my getaway. Observing the charts, looking at the market, doing all of that. To me, that's the equivalent of what I guess drinking a beer would be for somebody else. Watching the market is my beer. That's my beer time right there. Yep. So that's probably the best way that I could describe it. It's interesting, but I do know that it works. That I know. When you establish, your zone. No, they go back on, I think, on the 9th. Yep. And it was so weird because where my folks were at, them kids they already back in school. So like it just was bugging me out. I'm like, damn, I'm seeing school buses. You seeing them come home from school and all of that. My kids are running around. They looking at my kids like, what y'all doing? I'm like, they not in school yet. Shit. Yep. But they'll be back soon enough. And when the kids go back to school, that means you back in school. Yeah, there's definitely worse habits. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. There are definitely worse habits. I think, and that's another thing too, that I think that the market has like a kind of negative stigma about. It's just like if you telling your family that you're doing something with the market, their immediate association, I guarantee you, regardless of who they are immediately going to be like, oh, well, why are you gambling now? That this is what their thought is going to be. They're going to be like, oh, you gambling? Why you messing around with that? That's gambling. And it's like they just don't understand. So it's not something that I think that you really can communicate to them right away. You have to, through your consistency of actually training and focusing and applying yourself, let them see that it actually takes time and commitment, study and work. And it's a real thing. Like trading is not this thing that people do to gamble their money away. It's an actual occupation. Interpreting the market and then knowing what to do with that information. That's not light. That ain't light work. That's real heavy shit for you to be able to do it and profit from it. So it would make sense that it would require as much study and training as it does, because it's something that you should be taking serious, because it is serious. What's the end result of being able to effectively acquire skill when it comes to the market? What's the end result of that? Money, financial shit, freedom. So they don't there's a disconnect between the financial freedom aspect of it and the market part. the people don't make the connection because it's not something that is mainstream. Most people don't make money in the market. Everybody that everybody talks to doesn't make money. So as soon as you present that to your family, they're like, oh, come on. Oh, he's doing that. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a negative association with it. But the only way really to get around that is to disprove them just through putting in your work. That's it. Like that's really the only way to go about doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, these dudes was gully. This dude right here is actually kind of cool because he ain't bothered me yet. But he about to say something. Watch. Let me see if he come over and say something to me. He just walked right past my window just now. He talking to his boss right now. I'm gonna see if you make him tell me something, or if you're gonna leave me alone. We see what he do. See how petty they be today. They're like, "What's up, Mark? Welcome home. Welcome home, bro. Get your ass out the street." Now he might leave me alone though. Let me see what else they doing. Oh, his man is getting out the car now. They looking over here. They looking at me like the audacity of this guy to still be here. I'm like, bruh, like leave me alone. What y'all gonna do? They left me alone. Oh snap. They not all petty, huh? They not all petty. See, that's like, it comes down to the individual. Some people is mad petty. There was a lady that ran up on me. You probably saw it. I was on a live stream like a couple of weeks ago. She ran up on me, man. She was mad. She came this way, told me to move. I said, all right. And I didn't move. I stayed here. She went up the block, wrote a ticket down the block, and then came back. And she was mad because I was still here. Like I know she felt disrespected. She felt like, yo, I told you to move. I'm like, yo, leave me alone. I'm in the car. Like, what difference does it make? But anyway, the adventures of parking in New York City. The Chronicles of Double Parking. All right, well, they left me alone anyway. All right. Oh, Holly, I see it. She said, friendly reminder, business webinar. I will plan to do that. I am going to do that. Yes, I am. And matter of fact, Holly, being that you brought it up, think of some questions actually, so that I can have I want to make sure that I incorporate a lot of things that people want to know more details about in that specific webinar. So write down some questions and just have them handy. And when the time comes, I'll ask you about the to forward the questions to me. How's that? Mr. Gorilla, what's good? Taco Tuesday, huh? Yes, sir. But yeah, exactly what David is saying. They have to see you succeed. And you know, and this is something that I thought a long time about. It became more of my thought process as my kids got older. Like more, like really when my daughter was born, I started to think more like this. But you know how if you, and I'll use men as an example. Being a man is a good example to use because the man is considered to be the breadwinner. You know, the head of the household, quote unquote, all of that shit, right? So as a man, you don't want to force your family to support you with what you're doing. And I know that this, like, for some people, they may not agree with this, but this is how I feel, and this is what my experience and my insight has led me to understand. What I'm saying is, you can't expect your family to be supportive of you just because. Does that, like, you understand what I mean by that? Oh, well, that's my family. They're supposed to support me. No, they're not supposed to support anything. They're not supposed to support you because them supporting you is always based upon what you do, not what you say you're gonna do, not what you hope to do. You know, of course, it's always nice to have a supportive spouse or whatever the case may be, you know, like whatever your dream is or whatever it is that you want to pursue, your spouse, you know, being supportive of you. Of course, that's important. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about you. I'm talking about what your expectation is. It's just like, I knew I couldn't expect my wife to be supportive of what I was doing because she knows nothing about it. Like, does this make sense? If they don't know anything about what you're doing, how can they support you? How are they going to be rooting you on? They don't even know what it is. You see, you have to, through your process, create the need for them to want to support you to the point where it's like, damn, he's really doing this. I got to support him. You see what I'm saying? If you say, babe, I'm going to start doing this and this and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, all right, cool. And you like, man, so, you know, are you going to support me? Don't ask her if she's going to support you. Don't ask him if he's going to support you, if it's your husband. Just do it. Do it first. And what I mean by do it is do the work. So even before you produce results and you really get anywhere, the first success is the fact that you do it and you don't require their support or their validation of you doing it. And that's hard right there. That's hard to do, and that's mad strong. That's crazy strong if you think about it. You just do it. You work, and you don't require validation from them or support. Like, in other words, whether you support me or not at this present time is irrelevant because I'm doing it, and that's it. And then you actually do it. So even before you produce results, they're seeing the value in the work that you're putting in before the results. You see what I'm saying? So now everything changes and the dynamic switches up because they're no longer like, well, where's the money at? Because everything that you do is leading up to that at some point. But to them, their first thought now becomes, well, damn, it must really be something for him to be doing all of this. You see what I'm saying? And it switches up the energy also coming from them. And then when that energy from them switches up, it's no longer negative energy. Now it's energy that builds you up to do what you're doing. So you indirectly created a situation where they give you support. They don't even know that they're giving you the support. Yo, this is how crazy this actually is. When I actually thought about it, I'm like, yo, that's what happened with me. That is exactly what happened with me. Because I remember it vividly when I bring you back to 2006. I bring it back. In 2006, when I told my wife, and at the time we wasn't married. So at the time she was just my girlfriend. You know, we had already been together though. I was like, listen, I'm gonna quit this job and I'm gonna trade full time. And we must have had a discussion like that lasted for 2 weeks. Literally. She was like, you sure? Oh man. And it was like she was just so worried and concerned because I know that she felt like, damn, like that's security. Like you leaving security to do this. And it's like, yeah, but I'm gonna do it because that's how much I believe in it, for one. Two, I put myself in position to do it. And three, I've been working the whole time. This is nothing new. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the dynamic switched up when eventually she was like, yo, now I understand why he does what he does, like why he works like that. Because it wasn't my job to convince her to believe in me. It was my job to do me and make it happen. And by default, you're going to have to accept the fact that it does work. You're going to have to accept the fact that this is what I do and it works now. And then it's like, oh shit. So now you curious about it. You're like, damn, well, what actually is it? What is it that you do? And then that's when that type of, you start having them type of conversations and stuff like that. So I think, like I'm saying all of this to just say, when you're making a decision to do something, and for us, it's trading, make the decision and go all in first. Don't expect to have support from anybody. Your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your kids. Don't expect anybody to help you. Don't expect anybody to support you. You got to work first. You have to. Like, this is the same thinking of an entrepreneur, because just being an entrepreneur alone means 100% risk is on you. In other words, everything's on you. Whatever failure and whatever success you have is going to be all yours. That's the difference. There's nobody to blame. There's nobody to blame. And that's the same mentality that you have to have when you commit to training and learning this skill. This is no different. It's the same thing. That's why everybody is not even built to do this, because people can't shift out of the employee way of thinking and that mindset. It's so hard. It's mad hard for people to shift out of that mindset. And for some, they don't. They never do. And eventually it's like, hey, I can't do that. I can't do this. And it's like, yeah, because you're not able at this time to shift out of that way of thinking. And it's a requirement to shift out of that way of thinking. You have to shift into an entrepreneurial mindset where you, instead of blaming anything else, you can't blame the market. You can't blame your family. Oh, he distracted me. I lost that trade because he distracted me. No. You lost that trade because you took the trade. There's nobody to blame. It's you. It's all you all the time. And that's what people have such a difficult time with. People don't like that. People don't like being in the position where the blame is always on them. If you notice, most people don't like that shit. That's why there's some people that really love a job, because they love not having to be responsible. They're like, hey, it ain't my fault. I ain't the boss. Right. And you feel good about that. And you feel comfortable and secure because now you don't have to deal with the repercussion of decision making and if shit doesn't work. And I get it. I understand that. But understand that that's a mindset. So if you have that mindset, trading will not work for you because you have to shift out of that mindset. It's a requirement to shift out of that mindset completely. It's on you all the time. And that's what people have a difficult time with. That's why people, when you see them come into training, be like, damn, wonder why he ain't stick around. It becomes obvious. They cannot shift out of the employee mindset. They stay there. And it is what it is. So, but yeah, that was a little bit of rant, man. A little bit. But yeah, all of that's true, man. All of that is true. Gorilla said financial freedom is what drives me. Yep. Chris said I'm a believer. This this is what I'm talking about. Like you see how we talk? That's what it is. David said, just make sure you keep your hands in plain view. Oh, with the meter maids, right? I know, right? Tyler said, didn't see this guy for a whole week. Thought we got rid of him. Oh, man. Holly said, hope you're not sorry. We got questions galore. Yes, write them down, Holly. What's up, Stacy? Jay Carly said, this is hard to hear. What you talking about, Jay Carly? Oh, market is parking habit. Holly said, yes. When they see you win time after time on demo, it opens their eyes. Yes. Yes, and that's like that's the beginning. That's just the beginning of it. Jay Carly said, or they no longer support you because they can't do it. Right. Well, I suppose my situation is different than what you're talking about. You know. I love support for my team because no one understands what I'm doing, so they don't really support me and they don't get it. Yep. My people say don't quit your job. Yep. You already know. Shawnee said, real talk, because my girlfriend and most of my fam don't understand, but I'm keeping it pushing the TA way. It's like there ain't nothing else to do. It ain't nothing else to do. It's just like how when you hear you hear like very powerful success stories coming from people. Anytime you hear a success story, I'm always interested in the struggle story. I want to hear what happened first. Like, what was it like before this? I don't care that you blew. Because blowing up, is a consequence of work that you put in. So the fact that you blew up is great. Here's the harvest. I want to know what the struggle was like. That's why I'm always curious to hear people's story, because the story tells you the whole thing about what led up to them ultimately achieving the success. And that's always what I'm more interested in, because that's where we get most of the learning and the lessons from. For real. Look, Jay Carly, you can lose your job at any time. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. And see, for me, it's like, if you know that, and that's the case anyway, why wouldn't you still with your job? Why you got a job? Put the work in over here. Do it while you got a job. People be bugging out because they'll be chilling with the job. Oh, I'm good. I got my job. You know, I'm doing all right. I don't got to do that. You don't got to do that? You mean you don't have to do something that could potentially put you in position to become free from a job or not having to have a job? In other words, you don't see the value in positioning yourself to, if you wanted to, not have to have the job. I don't get that, but that's how some people think. Some people just feel like, well, no, I always will be able to get a job. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if that's you, cool, let that be you. But so often they'll say that, but then they'll still be looking for the freedom part. You can't contradict yourself. How do you think you're going to get freedom if you don't put the work in for freedom? You're not going to just get freedom just because. It doesn't happen. It takes work. You got to work like a motherfucker to get freedom. You crazy? That shit is hard work. Kid, yo, you realize freedom means it's all on you. It doesn't just mean you free to go and just go wherever you want. You got to be able to put in work to get what you need and want, so that you in position to get it whenever you want it. That's the freedom. You think that shit is free? People be bugging out, man. David said, it's not the way we are trained. Nope. Matthew said, your growth and results will speak for you. Exactly. Exactly. And remember that your growth and your results are inevitable. Don't think, this is another thing. People will think that the work is in vain and that it doesn't lead to the results. Yes, it does. Your results are going to come. There's no if. You could do it wrong and it's still going to work. I like understand what I'm saying. This is why the mindset skill part is so important, because you need patience. You have to have patience. You need patience for you. You need patience to deal with yourself and your own shit. We ain't even talking about waiting for your breakthrough and waiting to blow up. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just to deal with you. You need patience. So having patience and then continuously growing and elevating your patience over time, it's inevitable for whatever you're doing to work, because you possess the primary skill necessary for anything to work. You realize that the reason things work is because people are patient enough to wait for it to work. When anytime you hear somebody say, "Oh, I tried that, it didn't work for me," you notice how they'll say the "for me" part at the end. They didn't say, "Oh, I did that and it didn't work." They're gonna say, "Oh, I did that, but it didn't work for me." Exactly, it didn't work for you because you stopped doing it. I'm just saying, if you keep doing it and keep pushing, it's inevitable for it to happen. It's impossible for it not to happen. You ain't gonna know that if you stop. If you stop, it ain't gonna work. That's the only way it doesn't work. Yo, this shit is crazy. It's so bugged out when you really just put the pieces together and you really begin to understand for yourself that this is true. Like what I just said just now is 100% true. It happens every time. The same, it's just like when they say something is impossible. Oh, that's impossible. Everything was impossible before somebody did it. As soon as somebody did it, it wasn't impossible no more. You used to call it impossible before he did it, before she did it, before they did it. It was impossible before they did it. Shit crazy, man. Tyler said, my stepdad said I should think twice about doing this. My friend was winning for a while and then put a lot of money into his account and then lost it all. Sounds like your friend has a greed problem. Damn. Mic drop number one. Jeez. Jay Carly said, talking about your significant other supporting you is hard to hear. This is why I said enjoy the struggle. Right. Right. I mean, and it's real. People, it's just like anytime somebody looks at you now, they don't know where you came from and what the struggle first was. That's why I always like to revisit and go back so that you can see the comparison and you can have context to how I got to be how I am now. Like, this ain't new. People be bugging me out when they think like that. They're like, what are you talking about? You just came out of nowhere. I didn't come out of nowhere doing this shit. That's like somebody thinking I just started trading NADEX a few years ago. I might have started trading NADEX a few years ago, but how long have I known about the market? 27 years, man. Like, what are you talking about? And all of that is relevant. All of that time and experience is relevant because it led up to my knowledge base for where I'm at now. I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for that. So that's why I said you can't dismiss any part of your struggle. All of it is necessary. to build you up to what you're going to become. The key to it is just don't ever stop. Ever. Holly said nothing wrong with multiple streams of income. Of course not. Godzilla, my family lost hope because it has taken so long and they get pressure from them. Oh, and I get pressure from them all the time. But I ain't giving up, man. Listen, there's nothing to give up. There is probably nothing worse than people that succumb to the thoughts of family members and people around you in your immediate environment that tell you to stop doing something or to give something up, and then you give it up, and then later on you regret. That's probably the worst thing you could ever do. I would rather continue to do it, and if I'm gonna fail, I'ma still fail. Fuck it. But I ain't gonna stop because you telling me to stop. You see what I'm saying? I would rather own the failure than to give in to your opinion about what I'm doing that you think ain't gonna work. That's how I'm built. And I know that that's how many of you are built. And if you're built like that, you have to do it. You can't give up. You just can't. Like when I say you can't give up, I'm not, that's not encouragement. I'm telling you that you're not built or designed to give up. It's in your DNA to not give up, is what I'm saying. That's why you haven't given up. Yeah. Matthew said, your support has to understand that even a college degree takes years. Building a personal empire does not happen overnight. Nah. Nope. No, it does not. No, it does not. Market ain't really doing shit. I've been looking since I've been on here talking with you guys, but it's not really doing much right now. We'll see what it looks like when it comes back after 6. But yeah, man, this is solid content. You know, I love the fact like that we are able to record these, because when you go back, you know, like there's gonna be somebody that stumbles on one of these live streams and they hear something that they needed to hear at the moment. Like, you know, they just were looking for something that gave them that reminder. Like, nah, what you talking about? Ain't no stopping. There is no quitting. Ain't no giving up. I forgot who. No, matter of fact, I think it was Don. Don said on one of the live streams, this was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago maybe. He said, yo. He said something crazy. He was like, imagine if the slaves gave up. Like, see, when you think in terms of that, it helps to put things in perspective for you personally. Because you like, yo, like what if the folks before us who were enslaved was weak? What if they was weak? It switches it up. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to put yourself around what you need to hear all the time. You have to. And that's exactly why I love to do this, because I'm very obedient to the vibration. I'm obedient to God. And there might be days where I'm like, I don't feel like really doing nothing today. And I don't even feel like coming on here. Like I'll be wanting to chill or whatever. But it'll be like, nah, just do it. Just like that, just do it. Turn the camera on and stuff starts coming out immediately. It's like we on the vibration and stuff that we need to hear, personally and otherwise. Because it might be one thing that's said on here that is going to help somebody to not do something crazy, to not give up. It might just be the encouragement that they needed to hear. It could be something small and subtle. And because I was obedient and did it, it was there for them when they needed it to be. You see what I'm saying? That's why we continuously elevate and grow. Yeah, you notice there's no stagnant shit going on with Team Alliance at all. It continues to elevate. It's like, well, damn. You just keep going on and higher. Yeah. Because we're not getting in our own way. We letting it flow. You see, like, you know what I'm saying? So I just always do as I'm instructed to. And that's why it all just comes out all the time. Whatever we need at the time. It's crazy, man. Rich said, love that, Mark. I'd rather own my failures than fail due to the opinion of others. Yes, sir. That's hard. That's hard right there. You know what kind of audacity you got to have to do that? Godzilla said, you give me strength when I'm down. This is what I mean. Like, we give each other strength. David said, that's super deep. You need an abundance of positive self-talk. You do. You do. Can you imagine how further along people would be if they were capable of talking to themselves? Imagine if you could talk yourself out of doing something stupid. Sometimes you're not capable of talking yourself out of anything, right? So this is another purpose that this serves. Sometimes you don't got what it takes at the time. You might just come on a live stream and hear something, bow. It immediately switches up what was going on with you. It was exactly what you needed at the exact moment. That happens all the time. Happens all the time. That, you know, that's why, because we're connected the way that we are, like, none of this is accidental. I remember the first day that I discovered you could go live on YouTube on the phone. And it was like, I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was just like, yo, you can go live on this on the phone? Like, I thought you had to do a bunch of extra stuff on your computer and all of that. Found out you can go live from the phone. That was it. That was it, man. So this is what I mean about, like, nothing happens accidentally. Everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen when you put yourself and attach yourself to the energy and put yourself on the vibe. You get what you need, and that's it. Mick said, good day. Stumbled across some hard content here. Yes, sir. As usual, right? Gorilla said, I always look forward to these live chats, always learning something new. Yep. David said the prisons would be empty. Right. If people were capable of talking themselves out of doing stupid shit, you are 100% right. 100%. You know, and I think about that type of stuff too. I'm like, who's to say that somebody, you know, that might have been about to do something stupid stumbles on a live stream like this? Don't gotta be this one, but one like it. And they just hear something and it stops them. Like, wait. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. Dominance. It's like you suffocate your bullshit and other people's bullshit by constantly doing positive, uplifting, elevating shit. That's the only way to get rid of the bullshit. Because one thing I've learned also is that it's kind of like trying to deal with your emotions. I don't think that you can't fight your emotions. Your emotions have power and energy behind them, so you can't really fight them. The only thing that you could do is suffocate the way that the emotions rise up in you. And it's like you have to remove yourself from being in position to be affected by emotion. It's almost like, you know how people be like, yo, stop caring so much. Why do you care so much? Stop caring so much. You care too much. They're right. They're right. Imagine if you didn't care about losing. And see, like, we getting right back into the market again. Because it's the same shit. It's applicable. It's the same thing. When you elevate to the point where you stop caring so much about losing, the funny thing is that you'll stop losing. Caring about losing draws losing to you because you're afraid. The fear is becoming energy that you're putting out that comes back to you. So the fear, the energy of the fear, pulls the shit that you're afraid of to you. As soon as you cut that off, the shit stops happening. Weirdest shit ever, but it works. You want stuff. You want stuff to stop happening. Stop being afraid of it. This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is bugged out. Shit is bugged out. Holly said, so true. I almost gave up in the first month, and it was like you are just talking to me, so I could move through the process of self-dealing. Trying to tell you. Trying to tell you. Yep. And I believe that's something everybody goes through on their own personal level. You know, you haven't even done things long enough if you never felt like giving up. You ain't even did it long enough if you never felt that. It's not feeling like giving up that's the problem. It's giving up that's the problem. It's okay to feel like you want to give up. You should. Because nothing is supposed to happen easy. It's the same way that there's pain a lot of times before the pleasure comes. First you feel the pain, then the pleasure comes after. Like think about relief from a headache. You ever get a terrible headache and then the headache stops? What do you remember the most? Ultimately, you end up remembering the relief. That relief comes after the pain. You can't feel that relief without the pain. Shit is crazy. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Rich is on my wavelength right now. He's trying to go get something to eat. Yes, it is. Yep. I think I got a salad in my future. Shani said, no doubt, TA for me is another personal anchor for constant self analysis and self awareness. I work hard on myself than I do on my job and feel no guilt about it. That's hard. Hold on a second, yo. Hello? What's up? You know what I'm doing, working. No, not yet. I'll get you something. Don't worry. All right. I know. I got you. You're welcome. Bye. Yeah, my kids are mad spoiled. Oh man. Yeah, I like what Shawnee said though. I like that. He said I work harder on myself than I do on my job and feel no guilt about it. Whoa. I gotta take that, Shawnee. Hold up. I gotta write that down. I'm taking that one. That's hard. And of course, I give you credit for it. That's hard. Damn. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Jeez. Yeah, no doubt. Damn. JT said, I like what you're saying. I'm vibing to it. Yeah, man. Y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Gorilla said, now I understand why you named it Team Alliance. Feels like a team in here. See what it is, Gorilla? It is, man. It is. It is. Godzilla said, how do you work hard on yourself? Any examples? Lord. Give him a second. All right, Holly. Yep, see you tonight. All right. So what we got here? All right, so this looks good. Yeah, so we'll see what goes on when the market opens back up again. Yes, indeed. I usually come back on the charts around 6:45 to 7, like a quarter to 7, around that time, and look and see what the market is up to. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. David said being in places like this is a good start. It definitely is. Being here is like being in the environment that you need to be in order to just continuously grow. I think that another thing that for many people creates apprehension is when they feel stagnant. They feel like they're not growing anymore. And that's one thing that I could say about like just being in the Team Alliance environment. You'll never get to that point because there's always growth. It's just like when you think that you learned everything and then the market presents you with something different for the first time that you are just seeing for the first time, and it changes. You're like, oh snap, damn, I didn't realize that. Yeah, the market gonna remind you that you don't know it, you don't know everything, which is a good thing. And that's why what we do works, because it requires that we constantly work on work on ourselves. It's not, and like that's a conversation that a lot of, well, not even a lot of people, but people often will kind of argue and debate over strategies and stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, all you need is a good strategy. Well, if all you needed was a good strategy, once you got one, then that would be it. But that's not what happens. People run into good strategies all the time, and then they end up losing after a while. So what happened there? Like, what happened? Why are you losing that? What happened? I thought it was a good strategy. So it lets you know that it's not about a strategy at all. It's actually about being able to consistently demonstrate a process that ultimately leads to you avoiding losing situations in the market. Can you do that? That requires a high level of skill, training, repetition, study, observation. These are all the elements that we do all the time on Team Alliance. That's why we remain, it's kind of like remaining fresh, remaining relevant. You become irrelevant when what you're doing is not relevant anymore. We don't put ourselves in position to do that. We allow the market to keep us up to date with what's going on. That's powerful, man. That's you do that, you don't gotta worry about losing. And if you don't have to worry about losing, you write your own paycheck and create financial freedom for yourself, for your family, and that's it. Yep, that is a fact. David said, when you stop learning, you might as well start digging a hole. That's it. That's it. Oh, excuse me, because that's the end right there. That would be the end. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all, let me get up out of here. That's hard. Paley said, we don't master the market. There we go. Ended with a mic drop. Ended with a mic drop. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in training. Everybody else, I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Deuces.